Hello, Patreon. How are we? How are we, family? How are we going? I hope we are doing well. Am I looking disheveled? Because, lads, let me tell you, lads, bros, lads, my lads and ladesses, this is how this podcast is going to go. Fantastic. I went to the Architects last night. So, yes, this is kind of pre-filmed a little bit. And I'll tell you why. I'll get there for you. But it's the 23rd. Architects are on 2020. Guys, Architects was on the 22nd of February. It was a Wednesday night. Beautiful. Actually, a lot of people there, considering how much stress marketing and advertisement I feel like I was getting from Live Nation leading up to the Architects show. I was still getting them morning of. I was getting like 3 or 4 adverts in a row. And I'm like, Live Nation, are you okay? Like, do you just need to like blow money or something? Or are the ticket sales not selling? But it seems like there were a lot of people there and it was a lot of fun. So we're going to run down this gig a little bit. I'm going to convince you to go see some artists, because there's probably some artists that I saw at this gig that you didn't see. It wasn't just the Architects. And we're just going to chat about my life, like what it's like to go to a gig with Moose Smith. I'm trying to fix myself. Just like, bear with me. I'm not going to make eye contact for a little bit, right? And don't, I'm a bit of an ogre. No, I still look tired. Cool. Mad. I went to bed at 4 a.m. And this is typical for Moose Smith after a gig. Gig just gives me something. I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't do anything like that. But post gig, I am a manic lunatic, and it doesn't help if I'm already tired. So I didn't get much sleep the night before. So you would have seen in my TikTok that I'm gonna post this week. I think I'm posting it tomorrow or the next day. I think I'm posting it on Saturday, that my grandfather unfortunately passed away on Wednesday morning, which is yesterday morning for me, and I'm okay. I'm doing all right. Smith family is not doing all right, but we'll get through it. It's okay. Yes, very sad times. So essentially I'm flying to New Zealand in 4 days. It was meant to be I've got my calendar here, by the way, if you're wondering what I'm looking at. It was meant to be on the 8th of March, so that's like, it was meant to be in 2 weeks. Now all of a sudden it's in 4 days out of nowhere, because unfortunately, like, last Sunday he got a little bit ill, and so he got rushed a little bit ill. He lost a whole bunch of blood, and so they rushed him to the hospital. They did his surgery at like 3 a.m. and they're like, he should be okay, he's on the mend, like he's recovering. He might be in the hospital 2 or 3 weeks, but he's on the mend. And I'm like, cool, well, I'm gonna be in New Zealand in 2 weeks, so I'll see him then. He'll probably still be in hospital, that's right. And then literally out of nowhere, I think it was Tuesday night in New Zealand, it was still the afternoon for me, be at like 5 p.m. in New Zealand time, just like 2 p.m. here. He just like started to get like real sick. Essentially, like his digestive organs just started dying one by one. So yeah, like out of nowhere, I'm now flying to New Zealand. So that's why this is a little bit pre-filmed, and why there was a little bit of a lag. I haven't uploaded it yet, but I know that I'm uploading a February podcast in the next few days, and like I want to do it more in the middle of the month than the last week of the month. But that's kind of why, because it wasn't even last Sunday. It was the 12th. So the 12th is when he got ill. So yeah, it was like a week and a half ago. So yeah, things have been a bit funny. I feel like every time I get ahead of things, life is like, hang on, hold on, let's throw a spanner in the work. I haven't flipped some pancakes in a while, so here you go. How you like those? I'm like, life could have done without it, but I see what you're raising me, and I will got no chance against you, so I've just got to swallow the biscuits, haven't I? Doesn't care that I'm gluten intolerant. Life doesn't care. Swallow the biscuits, buddy. Alrighty. I'm in an interesting mood today, guys. So yeah, that's what's happening and what's going on. But I wanted to do this podcast anyways. It was meant to be a bonus one for February. And like we'll probably get another one in March anyways, because I get back from March, halfway through March. So I'll probably, as soon as I get back on the 13th, I'll probably do another one of these on my chem and stuff. So you'll probably get a double up actually this month. So it's win-win for you. I just feel bad for myself. When I fly out on Monday, I land in New Zealand at like midnight, like middle of the morning, like 12 a.m. And I have to just sit there till 6 a.m. till I can catch a domestic flight. The first domestic flight to my hometown is at 6 a.m. I'm like, fucking hell. 6 hours in the airport by myself. No one's awake. I can't message anyone or FaceTime anyone. I just have to hope that I stay awake working. Fuck. I see why people drink now, right? Wait, no, would drinking make you sleepy? This is why people do coke. I'm kidding, guys. I'm not gonna start doing coke, just heroin. I'm kidding. Oh my god, let's not joke about drugs. Anyways, fuck, I make bad decisions when I'm tired. I haven't got any filter at all. I hope we're part of the metal community. We're okay here. We understand. Dark humor is how we get through things. I had a family member die, so I'm just over here joking about heroin. Cool. Very insensitive. Righty. Well, yeah, so let's run down this gig. So pretty much I was like running around yesterday because I got the news in the morning because he passed away in the morning yesterday. I'm okay. Like I like obviously saw it coming, expected it coming. Like we had a day on Tuesday, you know, like talking to him on the phone and all that sort of stuff. So we knew it was coming. Didn't actually expect him to hold on till Wednesday. So it was kind of a positive godsend in a way, that a lot of family members got to. Well, my family's very small. There's only 8 of us in my family. Like that's aunties, uncles, cousins, everything. We're a very tiny family, but some of them live a couple hours away, so thankfully they got to drive down and see him. So that's really good. But yeah, I had to, you know, start getting shit together that I thought I had 2 weeks to do. You know, I had to go get my underarms waxed. Looking good. Thanks for asking. Shouldn't have put that on the internet. Oh, it's there now though, isn't it? And like pick up some travel items and everything, and then had friends meet at my place. I think it was about 6 p.m. I'm pretty sure doors opened at 6 p.m. at the gig place, but because I was already so exhausted because I was up until 4. I think I was up until 4 a.m. So like Tuesday night / Wednesday morning, and then got a phone call from work at 8. Like, hey, you want to come in for work? And I'm like, hang on, let me check my messages. Yeah, no, sorry, family member just died. Thanks for the 4 hours sleep though. That was brilliant. Enjoyed it. Yep, I'll see you in 2 weeks. So it was quite fun. Thankfully, I'm in a position at work where they're not just going to fire me for doing that, but I'm also like the oldest standing person in that store that I'm part of the furniture now. So that's fun. Even though like other people have been with the company longer, no one's been in like that branch as long as I have. So, I think they're kind of like, well, you know, she knows where all the secret hidden doorways are, so we better keep her there. You know, she knows where to find Harry. She knows where the staircase is with Harry in it. What if we lose him? Fuck me. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I met a lad last night. His name was Harry. I've always wanted a friend named Harry. It was actually one of our friend's Tinder dates. Good lad. I like him. He was good energy. And I don't know if I just like him because I really want a friend named Harry or if he's actually a good lad. But I think he was good. Like, he put up with me literally post-gig. I've got a lot of energy. Post-gig when I'm tired, crackhead on the street. Like, call the coppers. She's on something. And it's called Sam Carter is Amazing Live. Sam Carter is amazing live. We know this about Sam Carter, that he is an incredible vocalist, but if you haven't heard him live, you just have to. And yesterday, one of my things I had to purchase was ear raisers because the venues in Brisbane, the small venues, are really bad. And I've never been to Fortitude Music Hall. And every time I go there for the first time, I'm like, I'll see how it is. Maybe it's okay. I did that at Brightside and I got absolutely air raped. I haven't been back to the Brightside. The only like repeated venue I've done so far is the Triffid and the Showgrounds for obviously festivals. Showgrounds is chill, but Triffid's pretty good as well. I could handle the Triffid without air raisers, but yeah, I got some air raisers, which I ended up wearing, and oh my god, like it feels weird because I'm used to things being so loud, so you literally just scream your like airs out, but because they block out those super loud frequencies, it's like I feel like I'm in a quiet room, and if I start screaming, the person next to me is gonna be like, fucking calm down, mate, which they don't, because it is just as loud. It's just getting used to it. It's just used to like not being able to hear your own thoughts to all of a sudden be able to hear everything and be able to actually hear your own voice, and just knowing it's because you got plugs in, not because the room's all of a sudden silent. But it was amazing to actually be able to hear things like the guitar, like being able to hear all the individual notes and being able to hear Sam Carter's voice. Like, I was always like, oh, but it's a metal show. Like why would I want to wear? They're kind of like earplugs, but like more technology than that somehow. I don't really understand. I should have read the box. Just my friend used them, so I was like, okay, I'll just buy the same ones. That's fine. But as opposed to like your traditional foam earplugs, it actually still lets sound through. It's just like that super like noise that it blocks out. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I want to do a couple videos on them because I think more people should hear about them. And if you haven't gone to a metal gig yet with them, I feel like you should, purely for the fact that you can actually really appreciate the talent that the artist has, because your ears aren't like, yeah, from all the loud noises. So like, you know, when you go to a show and you watch back your videos on your phone, you're like, oh, he was a bit pitchy, or like, oh, he was actually really amazing live. Like, that scream was absolutely incredible. I don't remember hearing it like that. The air raise is like, so you experience that in the moment as opposed to just, yeah, I don't know. I used to always film things on my phone so that, not like the whole show or anything, but just a few clips so that afterwards I could go back and actually listen to it and be like, how actually was it? And be like, oh, like Ronnie Radke can belt. It's great. Sorry, Ronnie Radke's like, I felt like the first guy that I did it with when I was young. Oh my god, that makes it sound like he literally took my virginity. No, the first person that I'm tired, I haven't got words in my head. The first person that I like recorded the song to live, guys, you know what I'm saying. The first person that I was like, I'm gonna record this so I can hear afterwards, like what he actually sounds like live. Yeah. Fuck. But when I arrived, I will admittedly say I purposefully missed out on the first bit of Thornhill. We love Thornhill, and everything that Thornhill has gone through has been so sad. And I will say I'm sad that I missed the first half of the set, because when we got there, he was actually popping off. So when I saw him at Good Things, he was more mellow, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's just like a more mellow, chill band. And again, that could have just been from the heat. Like, I get it. I wouldn't want to be jumping and running around. But, like, in there, he was, you know, like, not throwing things, but, you know, like, throwing his body around, throwing around the mic. And I'm like, wow, he actually is, like, a really good frontman. Like, he's having a good time. He's screaming. He's down on his knees, you know. There's a big pit opening up, wall of death, all that sort of stuff. And pretty sure I got some videos. And he actually really impressed me. I'm like, okay, like, this is really good. And the problem is I don't want to admit this because I know. But I was trying to get into Thornhill, and I had someone who I used to be friends with who was really into Thornhill, and he just said a few kind of like negative things towards me about me trying to listen to them, about them being one of his favorite bands, about me not really being a Metalhead, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? Why am I trying so hard to like get into one of your favorite bands as like a good, you know how like when you're a friend to someone and someone's like, oh, I really like this band, it's like, oh, it's not typically the genre I'll listen to, but because it's you, like I'm gonna have a listen to it. Like just like as a bonding experience that you do with your friends, you know, like sometimes you just want to be like, oh, you should listen to this, and be like, oh, of course, Johnny, you know, Johnny's my friend. Johnny likes good music sometimes, so maybe I'll be into it. Where like as sometimes if like a stranger was like, hey, listen to this, you'd be like, maybe I'll get around to it. Maybe I'll see. That could just be me because I listen to so much music. There's so much I'm always trying to listen to that I do just have to have a priority list. But that's how my vibes kind of go. And I'm always trying to listen to like new people. But when someone's like, check out this whole artist, it's like really hard. When someone sends a single song, it's way easier because you can just tap it and listen to it. Isn't technology crazy like that? Back in the day, you had to like buy a whole fucking CD. You really had to fucking commit to it. You're like, yeah, Johnny Cash is good. Okay, all right, I'll buy the whole box set then. I hope you don't disappoint me. That's so wild. That is so wild. I remember that because obviously I grew up in that generation, and also New Zealand, I feel like back in the day got technology a little bit late. I don't know if it's just because it was expensive or maybe it was just like hard to ship it down to us. I don't know, but I feel like we held on to our CDs a little bit longer than the rest of the world did. I feel like people in the 90s were using Walkmans, and then here we are in 2010 like, yeah, I bought the new CD. America's like, CDs, we haven't sold those in years, mate. Decades. What are you doing? Though I guess technically the first Walkman was a CD player, wasn't it? It's like a portable CD player. But logistics don't matter. Amongst Thornhill, we had Counterparts. I have a friend in New Zealand who loves Counterparts, and he's been like, he kind of like suggests them every now and then, like on his story, like not personally to me, and like I'll message him and be like, I've been meaning to listen to these guys, like what songs do you recommend, things like that. And he'd be like, oh, like the new album's really good, like this song's good. So I have been like on and off, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give Counterparts another go, because for me to really get into an artist, like it takes a few times. I'm sure you guys know. Sometimes there is an artist that's bang on and it's just really similar to some of your favorite artists. Like Bad Omens was kind of like that for me. Once I found the right song, I was like, oh, very similar Bring Me vibes. And then from there, it was really easy to get into them. Obviously, first few songs that I hit, because usually I listen to things in albums, first few songs I was like, oh, because like the first, I think it's Concrete Jungle's the first song on their newest album, but Concrete Jungle didn't fucking hit me. Or is it Artificial Suicide? Whatever one it is that's first, took me a couple times. And then I was just like, okay, I'm just going to listen to a couple popular songs and a couple of older songs. And that's what got me. So yeah, it still took me a couple times, but it was a really quick artist for me. But yeah, someone like Counterparts, it takes like, you know, I've been trying to get into them for probably 3 months now. And then obviously also seeing someone live really, really, really helps. Brendan, as a frontman, what energy does he have? Like he is so brutally honest. Like he's like, hope you're having a good time. If not, not my problem. I think my friend, he said something about I think it was on Twitter. There was like a video of like someone who just kept jumping on stage crowd surfing, and apparently Brendan just said something along the lines of like, man, I fucking hate this guy. just out of it, just like, I fucking hate this guy. Not that he's, I don't know. It's so funny because he's Canadian as well, so it seems so out of character to just be like, I fucking hate this guy, because they're meant to be traditionally very polite. Oh yeah, sorry, or whatever the stereotype is with Canadians. Obviously stereotypes are stereotypes, whatever. But yeah, he sold it to me, and he'd just be like, two-step, like out of nowhere, just like two-step, like wanting people to do a two-step, and then like just start two-stepping on stage for a little bit. I'm like, I just love energy. And like he'd be talking to the crowd and then just turn around, continue talking like I am right now on the mic, like just continue talking to them, like, thanks Brisbane, you guys are doing great, how about we hear it for Thornhill. This whole time he's squatted like right in front of the drum kit, like people in the back don't know where he's gone, like he's squatted in front of the bass drum, having a drink, wiping his head, changing his hat while still talking to the crowd, because usually your front man will talk to the crowd, or like he'll pause for a second to take a drink, or like face the back, and there'll just be a little bit of silence, natural silence. And I don't, or maybe it's like a anxious thing. I feel like if I was quite anxious, I'd just keep talking. I wouldn't stop, and I'd be like, yeah, just look at my ass for a little bit, but I'm going to continue talking to you. I've got something to do over here. So yeah, I don't know. He really sold it for me. If you have a chance to go see Counterparts, or if they're opening for a gig that you're going to, make sure you don't miss it, because honestly, really, 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 really good. Really good. He started off, he's like, yeah, like, this is the first song. I wrote it for my dead cat. I just love that energy where it's like kooky, like you're a little bit edgy, you don't really give a shit. I don't know how to explain it. It's just funny. I love it. Like that little bit of extra like bite that people have to them, where it's like, it's a little bit abnormal, but I'm not going to give two shits. I'm not going to try and impress anyone. If you don't like me and my band, all right then. And I kind of like that. I think a lot of people try way too hard to just please everyone, make sure everybody's like happy with their personality. And I think that's where people get really stuck, and they kind of lose themselves. And like, I don't know who I am because I'm trying to be the perfect person for everybody. So it's like very authentic, I think is what I'm trying to say. Absolutely love that more than, yeah, he really sold it for me. So I'm definitely going to be listening to Counterparts all day today. I'm heading off to work for I think it's a 7-hour shift, guys. I don't want to do that. Fuck, who signed me up for that? Did I do that? I think I did. Fuck me. I don't want to do that. Oh well. Anyways, we're going to be listening to Counterparts all day, I think. Especially now that I've heard them live. Because when you hear them live, you can kind of feel the energy a lot more of what they wanted the song to, kind of be when they were writing it in the studio. Sometimes it's hard to place energy. Like, sometimes it's really easy, but sometimes it's hard. It's like when I listen to a new track, I have to listen to it in my earphones. If I listen to it on the speaker, it's not like inside me, and I don't get the full, this is kind of like the emotions that it's meant to be. And it's funny because my flatmate like has really expensive like studio monitors. He's like, no, listen to them on the monitors. I'm like, it's not about sound quality. It's literally not about sound quality. It's literally about me being in a box away from everything. Like, and he really doesn't get it. He argues it so much. He's like, yeah, just close the door in my room and turn on the monitors and you'll hear it. I'm like, buddy, it's not about that. It's about like being closed up here. Nothing about sound quality. I don't care if Apple AirPods are shit. It's just about my head just being closed off. I'd put plugs in my nose if I could. I just want everything closed. Yeah, so I was up, what do you call it? Kind of like a balcony. The Fortitude Valley Music Hall, by the way, stunning. I'm so jealous I didn't get to see Motionless in White and I Prevail there. Stunning. And it would have popped off. And the stage is actually nice and high. So when you're on the ground, if you're on the ground standing like just outside the doors, because it's like a normal venue, so there'll be like a reception kind of area, and then doors open up into the venue. But if you're standing in the reception area by the bar, you can see you could see Sam Carter's feet pretty much. Like really high stage, really nice. Obviously once you get in there, cunts who are like over 5'10", well, I'm too short to bloody see over their knuckles, but yeah, I can still see pretty well. It's probably one of the best small venues that I've been to where I can see the stage really well. But I was up on the balcony for a wee bit, go up and down willy-nilly as you wanted to. There was no restrictions there. We were just with someone who I wanted to make sure was still comfortable, and like was comfortable with like the venue, kind of seeing how rough it was going to be downstairs and whether or not she could like go down there and be okay with it. She just got like a couple injuries and things, so we were just like vibing up there for a bit. And honestly, I was so tired. I was so dead tired. I'm like, I don't know the songs enough to be down there screaming the words. I recognized a few of the songs. I definitely liked them, but like didn't know. Do you know what I mean? Where like you're vibing with the music, but you're like, not yet. And also I wanted to save myself and my 4 hours sleep that I had, so I could go for Architects. And oh yeah, something happened during Architects. I'm getting ahead of myself though. Be safe, guys. Make sure you eat and drink water at these gigs. I know you can get excited, but make sure you stop and drink water at these gigs if you need to. Make sure you eat beforehand. I'm a shocker at eating beforehand. I downed a protein shake real quick because we're all vibing around and we're like, oh, we should probably go. Like it's like 7:00. Thornhill's about to go on. And I was like, Moo, when's the last time you ate? Oh, shit. Like, obviously, in my own head to myself. No one said it to me. I'm like, hang on, guys. Let me just, like, down a protein shake. I was trying to think what I had in my... Because obviously, with my Crohn's disease, I haven't got a lot of, like, quick grab and goes. But a protein shake's pretty easy to make. So I'm like, let me just give myself a milky tummy real quick before we go. Thankfully, one of my friends had to drop some kids off at the pool, if you know what I mean. So yeah, he fucking took longer than I did anyways. And then we headed off. But yeah, in Architects, I'm just saying that I was trying to be precautious. I'm just bad at planning sometimes for my disease, because the best thing for me to eat is tofu, but that's going to take half an hour to cook. So it takes a lot of pre-planning. It's like, hang on guys, let me just make a Christmas dinner roast chook before we go. And then we can go. It's like a 6-hour roast. Just got to prep that real quick. So my tummy's nice and full for summer. So yeah. We headed off to thing and everything was good. But when the Architects came on, I stayed upstairs because I was vlogging for you guys as well. And I wanted to get a couple shots up there because we had a really good view of the stage. So I'm like, I want to get a couple shots of the man just in case. So I was like, halfway through the first song, head on down. Easy peasy. Actually, it might have been like even the second or third song. I was just vibing up there a lot. And also the people that I was with, well, actually, I think the Tinder date mute Architects quite a bit, but like my other two friends were they were there as like a support system for me. I was like, guys, I really want a group of friends to come to gigs with me, and I don't really have them. They're like, we have fun with you, we'll come, kind of thing. And they thoroughly enjoyed themselves, which is good. I think because they've done it with me a couple of times where they've gone to bands that they don't know and then they enjoy it and then become fans of the bands anyways, they're pretty on board now. If I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to this gig in a few days, I don't know anyone's going, do you guys want to come? They're usually like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go, let's have fun. Which is really cool. If you can get friends like that, it's really cool. But yeah, I went downstairs and we kind of jumped in. I didn't get as close to the pit as I would like to, but it's still close. You know how like there's layers of the crowd? There's like the standers at the back who have a lot of gaps through them. And then there's the standers that they all stand close together. And then you have the like feet tappers. And then the next layer up from that is like the head nodders. Next layer up from that is like the boppers. Next layer up for that are the ones that will like shake their hands. And then from that you start getting into like the jumping. And then the people that start the pits. And then like the people at the barricade. That's how I kind of see. There's probably like a few extra layers in there that I've forgotten about. But that's kind of how I see the layers. And you have the people that are like chill to sit down that are usually up at the balcony. And they wish there were seats up there. Like they'll headbang. But like their back's killing them. But... I feel like the people whose backs are killing them are also like the head nodders a little bit too. They're like, I wish I could jump around, but like I'm stuck in the head nodder section because my back is killing me. My friend was definitely one of those. He was like, my back is so fucking sore. And I'm like, bro, that's really, ooh. I hate for the day where that happens to me, because the way that I sit in my office chair, guys, I'm going to have some expensive physio and I should change it, and I try really hard to change it, but the truth is I just need to buy a different chair. If you've seen my chair in the background of videos, it's just like this big like scoopy egg thing. I got it because I'm like, that'll look good in my apartment, thinking that I wouldn't be editing 12 hours a day. I was like, whatever, I'll sit down on my computer a couple hours a day, maybe a couple hours a week, maybe. It doesn't matter what my chair looks like. Yeah, well now it does. Now it fucking does, and I'm giving myself back issues for days. Fuck, absolutely gone, eh? Yeah, so down in the Architects, yeah, fuck. Sam is just, he's amazing live, isn't he? His vocals, literally, once I had my air razors in, I'm like, this sounds like studio recording. It's absolutely incredible. And I will say the guitarist with the long hair, crab squatting. Never been more aroused in my life. It wasn't fully crabbing, but like split legs, slightly bent at the knees, every now and then leg up on something. I'm just like, he knows about the crabs. He's seen them. He's taken inspiration from it. Hot too, like his hair. Oh my gosh. It's not very often that I look at interviews and like photos of bands anymore. Like I'll know because I've been in the scene for a while. I'm like, oh, like that's Sam Carter, but like I don't necessarily know every single band's like, especially because I change as well. But I don't know every single band's like guitarist and like bassist like off the top of my head. Like, you wouldn't be able to show me guitarists. I'd be like, that's this band, this band, this band. I'd probably be able to guess, actually. Probably be able to guess some of them. Not all of them. God, she's not a prodigy. Also, I'm terrible with names. I'm so bad with names. I've just come to the realization it's something I really badly need to work on is my ability to remember names. It's really bad. But yeah, it was a huge set, guys. I think I saw someone say it was 21 songs. Like, even Sam said himself, he's like, it's a big set, guys. Now I've said I'm terrible with names, and now like, is his name Sam Carter? It is Sam Carter. How could it not be Sam? I'm insecure now. I don't trust myself. I don't trust my brain. I feel like I'm asking myself if Slipknot's vocalist is Corey Taylor. Like, that kind of feels how stupid that question is, but I don't know. I'm so tired. Anything is possible today. Anything is possible. We're rolling with it. We're rolling with it. That's all right. Yeah. So apparently he hadn't been in the country for like 6 years or something. They came as a supporting act to Parkway Drive, which is so wild to me to think how amazing Australians are with supporting Australians. To be like, absolutely love our Aussie bands. We'll support them through and through. To the point where someone like the Architects, where overseas bands are supporting your guys' I want to say local bands, but like national bands, I guess. They were once upon a time a local band, I suppose. Like, yeah, local. They come from here. It has to. I reckon in the English dictionary, that would make sense. But for Parkway to have like the Architects supporting them, when I heard that, I'm like, that's because I'm not from here. So to me, like, I'm like, oh, Parkway's an Australian band. But you never really see how huge they are, especially because New Zealand, we're so tiny. There's only 5 million of us now, I think, for us to have a New Zealand band. I'm like, yeah. Like, sure, like, they're a huge New Zealand band, but there's not many New Zealanders around to support them. So when you hear that something's an Australian band, it's like, if every single Australian supported that band, that's hugely successful, because there are so many millions of Australians. Like, yeah, it's such a bigger scale country. It's like, living here feels very similar to New Zealand, other than the heat and like the dead grass that you guys have, and lack of mountains, and lack of natural disasters and floods. Other than everything, no, it is like, it's a very similar feeling. Like, when I got off the plane, I expected to feel something else, and I didn't. I just felt a little bit sweaty. So yeah, I don't know, that just like kind of blew my mind. I'm like, wow, yeah, like Parkway is really that fucking band, aren't they? Anyways, we don't need to talk about Parkway. We're talking about Architects. Really good energy, I would say. Good pits. You can just tell maybe like the audience was a little bit older, but I feel like everybody was just tired as well, because it's a Wednesday night. We're all like, it's hump day. Hump day's the worst day of the week, isn't it? I feel like Wednesday's the most tiring day. You haven't got that energy in you to be like, yeah, like there's only one day. Like Thursday, you're like, I get like halfway through Thursday, you're like, I'm nearly done. One more day after this. But Wednesday is absolute cocksucker, isn't it? It's not the start of the week. It's not the end of the week. You're just fucking in the middle of it. Swashbuckle, like in the middle of the cogging machine. You've been jammed in there. You're a paper jam and a printer, pretty much. It's shit day. So I feel like we're all a little bit like, yeah, but like next time let's not do it on a Wednesday, eh? But still good energy. Definitely. But yeah, halfway through it, I'm just like nodding my head. The strobes are going off. Next thing, can't see anything. Gone. Vision, not with me anymore. I'm just like, I start leaning on someone, and I kind of like come to, and I'm like, oh shit. And like, I think my friend kind of realized, because it kind of went from doing this to, so I was like bopping hard out, swayed a little, and then just like stopped. I like turned around. I felt like my face was just like not okay. My friend's like, what's going on? What are you doing? I'm like, I gotta go. Just like beeline for the door. I wasn't leaving, just like out of like the venue bit into the pub. And like, there was water right there. I was ready to like spend like fucking $30 on 200 mils of water. I didn't care. I was like, I need something to fix me right now, because I'm not leaving the Architects right now. But holy shit, I think I nearly just died. It came out of nowhere too. I will say, it's not like I was standing there and I was like feeling a bit thirsty or feeling a bit dizzy. I was like perfectly fine, and then just not okay, really not okay, which is another reason, like it could be something related to my disease and things like that. Like my receptors are a little bit messed up because of how my disease kind of messes with my food cues and all that sort of stuff. So I will admit I have got that. And it's one of the reasons I won't go to gigs alone. Like I tell you guys like all the time, like, yeah, like you can go to gigs alone, and like I will do it, but I will tend to be a lot more cautious if I'm by myself. I won't have as much fun. Not that I expect my friends to look after me, because I am usually fine, but for like seconds like that, where like for a brief second out of nowhere something happened, like I'm kind of like, oh, thank God I had friends there, because if I fell on the ground right then, who knows, could have gotten trampled, or at least a friend would be like, Mood, you're on the ground, mate, get up, come on. The metal community is really good, and I'm sure someone would have like picked me up, like we are fine, but it's just that precaution that I have with having health issues, where I'm like always a little bit like, I don't trust my body that much. But yeah, like I really like that the music hall just had like a really nice, like a whole bunch of plastic cups, really nice big like water jugs, like nice water jugs too. They're like glass, like on a little stand, a little like platter there, real nice, you know, none of this plastic bloop 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 like water bottle things. So yeah, that was really good. So I drank 3 of those, not 3 canisters. Bloody hell, it wasn't the size of the house. It wasn't a giant waterbed all of a sudden. Just 3 glasses. I fucking sat down somewhere. It must have been on the stairs. And obviously the security guard's like, hey, you gotta get up. I'm like, I haven't got legs right now, sir. And he's just like, hey, go upstairs. I'm like, sir, I cannot climb the stairs right now, sir. Just give me a second to try stand up and not fall over. Like, bloody hell. Don't blame him at all. Like, he probably just thought that I was drunk or something. Apologies. My life nearly just left me. So yeah, that was that. Gave it a second. I went out one more level. There was like another entryway, which still wasn't outside, but there was like colder breeze, less noise, like gave my head a second, like leant up against the wall. And I kind of came right. And I'm like, right, I think I'm good to go back in. And I was good, but I just had to I couldn't headbang too much. I don't know. I'm assuming it's tiredness. I really am assuming that it's tiredness and probably lack of the right amount of food pre-gig. So yeah, like I will admittedly say, fucking idiot, don't do what I do. Not that it was intentional or anything. I wasn't like, oh my God, like better not eat before. Not like, God, it wasn't like anything stupid like that. But it was just one of those things where I didn't think. And we need to think. We need to plan things. So, you know, I will happily be the clown, the class idiot for that one. And usually I feel like people won't tell people that because they want to be a good role model. I'll openly tell my mistakes to you guys. Like, there it is. Did it ruin the gig for me a little bit? Yeah, I definitely couldn't jump around, and I definitely couldn't like headbang super hard after that. Towards the end, like a little bit more. Last song they played with was Animals. Love that song. That's the song that got me into them. I knew many songs before then, like I knew Doomsday and stuff, but Animals is just something for me. Like I've been learning it on the guitar. I pretty much know the whole thing now. I'm pretty sure I haven't played it in a month, so I don't want to openly say that I can because maybe I've forgotten, but I'm sure if I had a tab with me and like you gave me an hour, I'd probably be able to play the whole thing again. And it's the first like full song that I've learnt on my guitar for a while since high school days with Jackie, because I kind of just started doing technique stuff after I was playing religiously in high school. And yeah, like it was just really good, really inspiring. It was really nice to be able to like see the guitarist, hear the guitarist because I was wearing ear razors, be able to hear my own voice kind of today. Obviously I wasn't wearing the ear razors the whole time, but I will say the pain in my ears, I don't miss it, guys. Get some ear razors. God, I should be getting paid for this. I should go tell hey, ear razors. I gave a shout out on my podcast. And I'm not getting paid for it. Did I say I should be? I was meant to say it sounds like I am. Not that I should be. I'm not doing a bloody good job at selling them. Yeah, I wore them a little bit. They are really good though. I think ear razors might be the brand. If there is a different word for them, I'll put it on screen, especially because we're in a different country. But I know that they're made by DJ City, the ones that I have, which is a store, like a shop. So I feel like, I don't want to say earplugs because they're different to foam earplugs, but ear erasers. It might be ear erasers as well, because ear racers sounds like you're racing your ears like a car, doesn't it? Oh, well, anyways, if we're going to rank all these bands, Thornhill's always Thornhill. And they're always like I don't know what subgenre of metal they are because I don't listen to that subgenre of metal. But I think for their genre of metal, everything that they've gone through, always amazing. And like if you haven't seen them, you should see them. And I'm a bit of a spoiled brat here in Brisbane. We get the opportunity to see them all the fucking time. And it is really cool though to see them playing in like a larger venue like that. Like not that it's not huge. I think, what's the capacity there? Is it 1.2k capacity at Music Hall. Because I know the Triffid's 800 people, and I know it's larger than the Triffid. Maybe it could be 2k, but I want to say 1.2. But I could getting it confused with, I'm going to butcher this, Tivoli? It could be Tivoli. I could be getting confused with them because they're also larger than the Triffid, from what I know. But that's really cool to like see an Australian band, you know, open up for them. Architects, absolutely incredible if you haven't seen them live. And I don't know why this is going to sound weird for a second, but why my Architects content about the Architects gigs is doing really poorly on TikTok. Like if I make things like blah and stuff, like for the American, like it hits the American market, and like people do like it. People are like, yeah, the Architects. But as soon as I mention Architects in Australia, like people just, And I will say the crowd wasn't, I feel like the crowd was more buzzing at Sleeping. And maybe it's because they're British. Like I feel like maybe Europe bands don't go as hard because it's harder for Europe bands to come to gigs down at us. And people were like, you know, it's really expensive. It's $100. But it's like, yeah, but they're not from America. Like they're from Europe. And like Europe is so far away from us. That's why whenever I do see a Europe band come over and I like them, I will like 100% try and buy the tickets because it's hard. And I appreciate the fact that Europe bands and artists do come to us. I know someone who has like a lot of the genre that he's into. It's like trap metal, I think it's called. It's not metal. It's trap, and the subgenre of the trap is like more metal style because it's like has more screamy vocals or something like that. And like, a lot of those artists, majority of that scene is all Europe, and he never gets any live gigs down here because it's so expensive for them to come down. Like they'll do tours, I think, over in like America and stuff, but like they just can't. And it's just like New Zealand is even the next step. New Zealand now has, I feel bad, you guys don't get many gigs, and hopefully it'll start picking up slowly again. But yeah, you guys, like, they do just stop at Australia because it's so expensive just to get to Australia, and then from Australia to New Zealand, whole nother ballpark. It's just not worth it. I really don't think it's worth it for the bands, which is really sad to see. So that's something to consider if you're ever wondering about your ticket prices, because yeah, Architects was nearly double the price of most bands. Usually have a look at where the band is from, and it might explain to you why it's a little bit more expensive. And yeah, I'm like grateful that like it's not I want you guys to know I don't earn a lot of money, all right? I do not earn a lot of money at all. Should I say how much I earn? Probably not. I don't earn a lot from content creating. It does not support me whatsoever. And I work 2.5 days in retail, so you can assume how much I earn. It's just, this is my passion. This is why, like, some people like going to wineries. Some people like video games. Some people like clothes shopping. That doesn't sound like a hobby, but some people probably do. And like that's where people spend their money. You know, I spend my money on rent, tofu, and gigs and music. Like that's where my money goes. Obviously I have savings that I do, but when a gig comes up, I'm like, well, that's my priority. You know, I don't drink at all, so like I don't have to, you know, spend $100 every week at the Valley. So all that money kind of gets saved so that when stuff like this does happen, I'm like, this is something I really love. So if you guys have something that you really love like that, maybe even making a separate savings account where you can put away like $10 every week. So then, you know, when bands come up once a month, or, you know, it's probably more, I feel like people who aren't doing this as a job, even though it's not really paying, I am doing it full time. Like you guys probably only get bands that you want to see every 3-ish months is probably what I'd say, because I feel like that's what I used to see before I was like documenting it and doing all this sort of stuff with you guys. If you can, like, I would recommend it. Like a little bit goes a long way, especially if it's for your happiness, you know, and your enjoyment in life. It's kind of worth doing. Like, I don't order Uber Eats, you know. I had a time in my life where we would order food, but I was like, oh, that $40 could have bought me half a concert ticket or a concert ticket at some stage. So like I just like made those small changes in my life and adjustments, and I never want you guys to, it's so hard to give up. Like I'm not trying to give out financial advice, but if there's something that you really wish you could do in life, you should take a second and be like, hey, is there anything that I could possibly change in my life to help me like gain this little bit of extra happiness, because that's what I did. That's purely what I did. If anything, my income's actually, it's gone down, because I used to work full time, so I used to earn like $1,000 a week, right? Because I worked 48 hours in retail, and I earned commission as well. Like that's commission built into that $1,000 a week. It's not base rate. And when that cut down, I was like, well, my income's cut down, so what do I have to cut out of my life? And I just really wanted to make sure I had a plan for myself where I could go to these gigs, and do things like that. So it was same with like good things. Like that was really expensive. If you guys saw the YouTube video, it cost me like over $2,000, but I was planning and saving for that for like 6 months, because I was like, this is an experience that I really, really want to have. So like, I want to help and inspire you guys. If some of you guys are like, I wish I could go to gigs. I hate that she's sitting here talking about a gig. I thought maybe I would just share a little bit of light as to maybe how you could possibly start going, even if it's like doing your $10 a week, so you could start going to 1 gig a year, things like that. And hopefully that helps, because I never want people to feel left out, or I never want to feel like I'm bragging like, oh, I got to go to a gig every 2-3 weeks. Because I'm definitely not, I'm not super rich or anything, and I want to make sure that you guys know that you don't have to be super rich to do the things that make you happy in life. Okay. That was really long-winded. Probably could have worded it a bit better if I wasn't as tired. I hope it didn't. Yeah, I hope it made sense. I really hope it made sense. Music makes me so happy, and I would hate to think there are other people out there that feel the same way as me and feel like they can't have that happiness. Whoa, my ears just popped, and now they're ringing. Should have wore the ear razors the whole time, I guess. Okay, now I sound really funny. Well, with that, I think this is the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Sorry that I've rambled, but I guess that was my piece of advice for the pod. Are we doing advice every